Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Saskia. I am a yoga teacher and I'm passionate about making yoga available and accessible to everyone. So today I'm going to take you through a short, gentle flow. So let's get started. You don't need any props per se, but feel free to use them to make it more comfortable, easier for you. I always like to have my props around, so I have some blocks and I always like to sit on like a meditation pillow or a bolster or anything like that, just so that it's easier to sit on. But technically you don't need any props for this short class. So let's get started. We'll start in a child's pose, Balasana. So place that to the side. So if you're like me and you're a little bit bigger than the average person, it might be nice to place the knees just slightly wider, just to make space for the belly. And then from there you can place your big toes together and then drop your hips down towards your heels. So it's okay if your hips don't quite hit your heels. You can either stay as you are, or you can place a blanket in between your hips and your feet. So from there we start to walk the hands forward, relaxing the forehead down. And you can relax your body. Relaxing your neck and your shoulders. Breathing deeply. Feel free to make some adjustments if you feel like you need to widen the knees or maybe bring them closer together. Anything to make yourself super comfortable. And just take a few breaths in this pose, in and out through the nose. You can close your eyes. We'll take one more breath here. Let's have to walk the hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll keep the legs in the same position. But from here we're going to thread the needle. So as we inhale, we bring the right arm all the way up, looking up towards that right hand. Exhale, we're bringing it underneath the left shoulder. See if you can bring your head to the mat. Maybe you want to slide your left arm forward. And you can close your eyes if you're comfortable. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. On the next exhalation, slide your left hand back underneath your shoulder if it was stretched out. Push into that left hand. Inhale, stretching the right arm all the way up again. Exhale, bring it back down to the mat. And we'll do the same on the other side. So inhale, stretching the left arm all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bringing it underneath the right shoulder. Bring your head to the mat. And you can slide your right hand forward. Taking a few breaths here. On your next exhalation, Bring your right arm back, placing the right hand underneath the shoulder. Inhale, bringing the left arm all the way back up to the ceiling. Exhale, bringing it down onto the mat. And let's come into a tabletop position, or all fours. So traditionally this is done with the knees underneath the hips and the wrists underneath the shoulders. So just play around with that position. See what works for you. It might be quite tough on the wrists to have this 90-degree angle. So if that's the case for you, just place them forward a little bit. And you can also play around with the width of your knees. So see what works for you. Once you've found the position that works for you, we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So on an inhale, we tilt the pelvis, drop the belly down, drop the chest, lift the head up, look up. Exhale, tucking the pelvis, rounding the lower back, upper back, shoulders, drop the head down. Really rounding here to exhale. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, drop the belly in the chest, looking up. Exhale, we round. See if you can isolate the lower back and the upper back in that movement. Inhale into your cow pose. Exhale, cat. We'll take one more. Inhale, dropping the belly down, opening the chest, lifting the head up. Exhale, rounding. Rounding the shoulders, drop the head down. Inhale, coming back to neutral tabletop. So from here, we'll bring the right foot forward. And if your knees are a bit tender, you can do as I'm doing and placing a blanket underneath your knees. It just will make it a little bit more comfortable. So with your right foot forward, you can just see where the placement of the foot is preferable to you. So if you're quite flexible, you can walk that foot forward and really sink the hips down. If that's too much, you can stay here. So see which option works for you. You can play around and find your edge. So once you've found that, on an inhale, raising the arms up. See if you can have the shoulders relaxed and down. Exhale here. Inhale. And on an exhale, we go and twist. We open the arms over to your right. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, we twist over to the other side. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, twist over to your right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, arms coming back up again, stay here. Exhale. One more inhalation here. Exhale, bring the hands down. And we'll come into the half split. So from here you start to straighten your right leg. So the right leg might not straighten completely, and that's totally fine. Also, if you're finding it difficult to reach the floor here, feel free to use some blocks to place underneath your hands to bring the floor closer to you. So anything that you can do to make the pose work for you, feel free to do so. And we really breathe into the stretch that we feel down the back of that right leg. On your next inhalation, we start to bend into that right leg, coming forward. And from here, stepping your right leg back in next to your left leg. And we'll go straight to the other side. So bringing your left foot forward. And the same as we did on the other side, finding your stance. So you might be here, and if you feel a stretch already down the front of your right thigh, this is where you stay. If you want to go further, if you have that flexibility and range of motion, feel free to do so. So see what works for you, finding a position with the legs that feels good to you right now. And once you've found that, on an inhalation, let's bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, dropping the shoulders down if you can. Inhale here. Exhale, let's twist open to our left. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, twisting to your right. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist to your left. And once more on each side. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist open to your right. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. See if you can keep your hips down. Inhale, and the last one. On your inhalation, bring the arms back up. We'll exhale here. One more inhalation. Exhale, bringing the hands down to the mat or to your blocks if you have them, and we'll come into those half splits like we did on the other side. So start to straighten that left leg. And again, it doesn't matter if your leg doesn't completely go straight. So we all have very different ranges of flexibility, length of muscles. We're all built in different ways, so don't worry if what you're doing looks different to what I'm doing. And continue breathing here. And breathing into the stretch you feel down the back of the left leg. On the next inhalation, let's have to bend it into that left leg again. Exhale, stepping your left knee back next to the right. And we'll take child's pose for just a few breaths, just like we did at the beginning. So sinking your hips back, maybe widening your knees. Walk your hands forward and just relax for a few breaths. On your next inhalation, let's start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, coming back into that tabletop. And from here, you may want to walk your hands forward just a couple of centimeters, and we'll go and push into our downward dog. So this can be quite an intense pose for some people. So I want you to just explore this pose a little bit and see what works for you. So if you want to widen your feet, or maybe place your hands and feet closer together or further apart, see what works for you. You can also, if you know that you have very tight hamstrings, you can use blocks underneath your hands so that you just lengthen yourself a little bit. So just explore with the possibilities that you have, and from there Let's curl the toes under, lifting the knees up and then pushing your hips back and up. You can adjust your feet. So in downward facing dog, what we're trying to do is we lengthen the spine and we bring the hips up towards the ceiling. The legs don't need to be straight. The heels do not need to touch the floor. And just keep breathing in this pose. We'll stay here for just a couple of breaths. On the next exhalation, you can drop the knees back down and crossing the feet, coming to sit. And we'll take a forward fold here, so stretching your feet out in front of you. You may want to remove the flesh from your sit bones so that you feel grounded. And if this is quite tough for you, if the back of your legs is tight, feel free to roll your blanket and so that you can bend your knees a little bit. That might make it easier. So as we sit here, we flex the feet a little bit. We inhale and we lift and lengthen the spine. And we try and keep that spine straight as we exhale and maybe hinge forward from the hips. So you don't have to come very far forward. So I've only come forward just a little bit and I'm already feeling it down the back of my legs. So see how that is for you. Keeping the spine nice and straight. Feet are flexed. And breathing in and out through the nose. And release. Let's roll the shoulders. And we'll come to lay down on our back. And we'll take Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. So bringing your legs out and your feet together. And from there, we're going to lay all the way back. So your hands can rest either on the inside of your thighs, maybe on your tummy, or you can bring them out to the sides, palms facing up to the ceiling. So you can choose your hand placement, whichever feels most comfortable in this moment. And you can relax completely. Relaxing all of your muscles. Relax your whole body. Relaxing your shoulders, your neck. Allow yourself to be heavy. And from here, you can bring the knees together, rolling onto one side, and pushing yourself back up, and come into a seated position. So feel free to sit up on a block or a pillow, elevating the hips. Usually makes it easier to sit up straight, makes it easier to keep the spine straight. So we'll close with a short meditation. So with your hands in Chin Mudra. So we take this mudra so that we close the energy channels. So if we had our hands like this, our energy would just go away, disappear from our bodies. So if we keep the hands like this, the energy circulates within the body, the prana. So with your hands on your knees, you can either have your hands turned up or down. Choose which one feels more comfortable to you. Let your shoulders drop down, spine nice and straight, sitting comfortably. Taking a moment to feel the effect of that short practice. I'll take 2 more breaths here. Deep inhalation and exhalation. Let's bring your hands together in prayer in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. And we'll close with one cleansing breath together. So take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling with a sigh. And you can blink your eyes open. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this short practice, and I hope to see you next time.